In golf, when it comes to diversity, it has been, honestly, a tough road. I wanted to put down on paper what I wanted to look like while I was out on the golf course. You know, jeans, sweatshirt, Cuban link chain, and some sneakers, and even a fitted hat.
And we're literally gravitating people to the game just through clothing.
My name is Olajuwon Ajanaku, founder of Eastside Golf and also professional golfer.
And I'm Earl Cooper, co-founder and also one of the best young teachers in America.
A lot of other golf brands, you'll see golf/leisure wear, where ours is golf/streetwear. A lot of times people see our logo and we've been told they see themselves. You're taking the club back, chain is swinging one way. You know, it represents that I belong. It represents something I felt golf has been missing for a long time. And now we're growing into a brand that is truly changing golf.
We have a wide range of consumers that, you know, go from an age range of 70 years old down to 17 years old, men and women. And we feel like that's just representative of what the game really should be and look like.
And a lot of the pieces actually live on and off the golf course. Like, we have boutiques that are interested in the polos, but then also, you know, pro shops.
We're rooted in golf. We are a golf brand, but we also aren't lost in the fact that there are so many other people out here that don't know the game. It's designed from a perspective of it's a dual use.
It truly is very important to see representation in the game. When you look at golf itself, they sell to golfers. When we're coming in, I mean, we have the partnerships with NBA and MLB. I mean, we're talking to these other organizations that truly want to see golf expand. I would say one of the challenges that we've had, you know, since we don't have an apparel background, just as far as the production process, you know, that's something that we had to learn.
Being an entrepreneur, I don't think people truly recognize the fact of how difficult it is, especially if you're starting in the space where it's never been done before. It's not just a business that we are just doing to do. We're passionate and we deeply care about it. So there's a process that, you know, we have to maintain as well. And so be in it for the long haul.
We are hiring right now. We're looking to scale the business and double in staff by the end of the year. I feel like it's going to make the world a difference and move our company forward. One of my favorite moments, honestly, when I designed our first Jordan, our Jordan Retro 4. It was really hitting off of the colors that I put on the logo itself, you know, navy, gold, gray, and white, but then also putting a canvas on the bottom. It was just a fantastic experience.
I think also signing our first athlete, Wyatt Worthington, and the moments that we've been able to give back to Morehouse College, you know, our alma mater, being able to go back and doing a collab with Beats by Dre. And these are just moments that for us, we dreamed of. As we look down the road with Eastside Golf, what excites me the most is, one, the opportunities that we'll be able to offer folks, you know, when it comes to working for a young, fresh company and that are doing real changes. Also excited to, you know, new collaborations, partners that we'll be working with.
We're actually going to be now accessible on video games, PGA 2K23 and NBA 2K23. It's going to make our brand just go so much more further, you know, and reach such a younger demographic. We're not here to make, you know, professional golfers. We're here to introduce you to the game so you can use this game as a tool. Because with whatever you want to do in your life, this game of golf can help you with that.
From me, in my own personal experience, I wasn't always comfortable on the golf course. It wasn't something that I immediately loved. But once I saw the opportunities that were out there, I was like, wow. And so that young kid that's watching this, trust and believe that golf can offer you all the things that you may see in other sports, whether it be basketball or football or baseball. You may just not know that they exist, but they definitely do.